going, hurry. Not that one, the next one.
How can a cloud weigh anything?
Don't worry, it's not nearly as dangerous as it looks.
She's gonna blow! Run for cover! Are you kidding me? I thought it was gonna be fire.
A chef tries to wow Gordon, but Gordon can't stomach it. All new Kitchen Nightmares, Tuesday on Fox.
Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Word is spreading fast in Maine that ICE agents may be planning large-scale enforcement operations on farms and construction sites. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Brad Rogers shows us the warnings going out, the potential impact, and the rights of farms and work sites should ICE pay them a visit.
The Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association, or MOFGA, says it has received information ICE is planning to raid farms and construction sites in Maine, with an emphasis on farms employing foreign workers here on a visa.
MOFGA put out a warning that immigration authorities may be planning enforcement actions across the state starting as early as this weekend, but now say the dates are not confirmed. MOFGA also received reports of ICE agents using drones to monitor activity on farms and job sites.
It's disgusting and predatory.
Farm worker Anna Marco says ICE raids on Maine farms would be devastating right now.
Going after farm workers at the beginning of our harvest season, the peak of harvest season, in a state with a right to food and a right to food sovereignty is disgusting. It's a violation of our state laws.
We still are preparing for worst case scenario.
The Maine Immigrants' Rights Coalition says construction sites and farms do have rights. Without a warrant signed by a judge, they can prevent ICE agents from going on private property.
Farms and construction sites, while they have some areas that are exposed to public view, they are also extended those privacy protections, and farm owners and business owners can control access points. So that's why those protections still require a warrant in order to access entry to certain locations.
But it's still very hard, as farmers, we're all working hard and we may not see what's happening at one side of the property.
Farm owner Robin Silverman says even the threat of ICE raids might keep farm and construction workers from other countries from going to work.
These are good, hardworking people who want to stay and live in Maine and help create the food that we all need to eat, and we have to do whatever we can to support the people who are trying to work hard and earn a living and are now afraid to go outside.
We asked Homeland Security and ICE if they're planning to focus more on farms and construction sites. So far, we've gotten no response.
MOFGA is urging anyone who sees a drone flying over a farm or construction site to report it to the ICE Watch hotline.
Bangor police say a man they've arrested twice this week already was arrested again this morning. Department spokesperson Katie England says an officer was clearing a call at a local business on August 15th when they recognized 33-year-old Cameron Mushero, who is a transient and had been previously trespassed from that business. The officer confirmed Cameron had been trespassed from the business again and arrested him. Then on the 18th, police were called to a State Street bank where police say Mushero had been trespassed from. He was arrested again. Then today, Mushero was arrested after fleeing a Union Street business following a theft complaint. He was arrested for the third time and charged with theft, resisting arrest, and violation of conditions of release. Well, imagine arriving home to discover a stranger was sleeping in your bed. According to Bangor police, a Bangor man called for help after finding a woman had snuck into his bed while he was away at work. 55-year-old Darcel Howard of Levant was arrested and is now charged with trespassing and violating the conditions of her release. Police say it was around 7 o'clock Thursday morning when the man returned to his Union Street home after work. He had left his home unlocked and found Howard asleep in his bed. Later on Thursday, another property owner recognized Howard's booking photo and realized she was also the person who allegedly broke into a home on August 11th, stole clothing from a resident, and left human waste on a rug. She's now facing burglary and other charges for that alleged break-in. Well, we are learning the name of the pilot who died in a plane crash Thursday. That pilot was identified as 52-year-old John B. Hall from Lee, New Hampshire, and his 21-year-old son, who was injured, were on board the plane when it went down into the waters of the Pemaquid River. The crash is now under investigation by the NTSB, Max Williams has more on what may have led up to it.
We're told that 2 NTSB investigators are on their way to the scene here in Bristol, right in front of Fort William Henry. Part of the scene today is still caution tape off. We're told by the sheriff's office that as the plane came down, it struck one of these wooden boxes here. You can see the damage there, and then made its way down to the water, coming just feet away from a home.
Tragedy. You know, what a tragedy.
A father and son outing turned deadly Thursday as their plane went down into the waters of Pemaquid River. The flight tracking site Flight Aware shows a small 2-seater propeller-powered plane took off from Brunswick Executive Airport just before 12:30. The plane's flight path shows it was only in the air for a total of 30 minutes, making a few circles just after takeoff before making its way up the coast.
I don't see anything that's really unusual, up of course until the very last minute.
Randy Klatt is an aviation expert based out of Portland, who says flight data indicates the plane most likely suffered a mechanical issue.
It's only at about 1,000 feet when it started to descend very rapidly, so it didn't have much time, and I don't suppose there really is a very good landing area in that specific space.
Klatt says while the pilot could have suffered a medical emergency, the damage to the plane as it was taken out of the water by a barge shows that might not be the case.
So that leads us to believe that, you know, maybe it was a little bit more of a controlled flight into the ground. In other words, an attempted landing that ended up going bad when it entered the water.
Flight data shows that the plane is flown frequently, sometimes multiple times a day, with trips up to 2 hours long. The NTSB will release a preliminary crash report within 30 days.
Switching gears now, 2 people were injured in a motorcycle crash in Milford earlier today. According to Milford Fire and Rescue, the call came in around 11:30 today for a crash on Main Road involving a motorcycle and a pickup truck. Milford Fire and Rescue says 2 people from the motorcycle were transported to Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center with both critical injuries. They say the driver of the truck was shaken up but not injured. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office and Maine State Police also responded to do an investigation and assist with traffic control on scene. And on a related note, there have been 28 fatal motorcycle accidents reported in Maine so far this year, doubling the amount for the same time last year. Our Doug Banks spoke with a local riding instructor about the importance of safety on the road.
It's shocking that there's just so many deaths.
Fatal motorcycle accidents in Maine are higher than they were this time last year.
And we're only in August.
As of Friday, Maine Department of Public Safety spokesperson Shannon Moss tells us there have been 28 motorcycle fatalities. As of this same day last year, that number was 14.
Most people that are driving a vehicle are usually looking for something as big or bigger than them, and some people just don't see us. You know, it's unintentional blindness.
According to Moss, the circumstances surrounding each incident varies, and there does not appear to be a common factor among the 28 crashes. But she says several recent incidents have involved another vehicle entering or crossing the path of a motorcycle and motorcycles leaving the roadway. Moss adds that several of those killed in recent crashes were not wearing a helmet.
We teach in the class to wear all the gear all the time.
The numbers bring attention to road safety. Anderson advises motorcyclists to pay attention, slow down at busy intersections, and wear protective gear.
Motorcyclists shouldn't ride beyond their skill level. Prepare yourself. You know, think of everything as a potential problem or potential issue so you can stay ahead of it.
And for those on 4 wheels or more,
look twice, look for motorcyclists. We're smaller, but it still takes us just as long to stop as it does in a car.
Doug Banks reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Measles has been detected in wastewater samples from Bangor recently, and medical experts say it's an important heads up for the community, but not necessarily more than that. The wastewater testing by the CDC looked for the actual virus that causes measles. Follow-up testing did not find any elements of the virus. Dr. James Jarvis from Northern Light Health tells us that there have been no new cases of measles since the small cluster of cases in Bangor that was reported months ago. So experts say there isn't necessarily cause for immediate concern. But the wastewater testing results are a reason to be vigilant.
For anybody, but this is a great reminder that, things like measles still circulate out there. And we have fantastic vaccines that help prevent these diseases, and particularly the mumps, measles, and rubella, or MMR vaccine, is very effective in protecting people against measles.
Dr. Jarvis encourages those with concerns about vaccines to speak with their physician to get accurate information and data about the safety of vaccines in the U.S. Dr. Jarvis also reminded folks to practice good hygiene, wash their hands, cough or sneeze into the crook of their elbow, and be vigilant in knowing the common symptoms of measles. In other news tonight, we are still months away from the general election, but as we've reported, attack ads are already ramping up in Maine's congressional races, particularly in the high-stakes Senate race. Political expert Mark Brewer says it's usually Labor Day or late September when ads take a turn for the more severe. He says the early escalation is not the norm, and the upward trend speaks to the gravity of the race's outcome. Here's what he says voters should keep in mind as they weather the political storm.
I would evaluate these ads as real simple. Is what it's saying true? Right? Is it true? If it's true, it's fair. I would say it's above board and fair game if it's true. Right? If it's a lie, then that's not above board and not fair, right? If it's somewhere in the middle, as a lot of political ads are, right, that it's not clear if it's true or if it's false, then I think that's where we rely on, folks like you in the media to do the fact checks. And that is also where voters have to kind of do some of their own work. And, well, how do I evaluate this?
Brewer says that can be a tough job for voters, but it is important to ask questions and not take the ads at face value. Well, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and a treasure trove has opened up in Orono for those who enjoy the thrill of an auction and yard sale. Our Callie Warren takes us to the annual Kiwanis Charity Yard Sale.
79th annual yard sale and auction. There are bargains galore here.
No matter what treasures you are searching for in Orono, organizers say that this event really offers a little something for everyone.
And everything that's donated to Kiwanis, we sort, we organize in the buildings, and then the public comes and purchases, and that money that gets raised gets turned back into the community.
Eager bargain hunters lined up in droves Friday, and when the bugle sounds, it's time to start shopping.
So you can come here and get like some used furniture for a great price, support a great cause, and usually like the quality is actually better than if you were to buy some new chairs from IKEA or something like that.
The funds raised go to support Kiwanis community efforts, including scholarships, literacy programs, and more. Shoppers come year after year for the finds and the philanthropy.
I'm a guy that still likes to collect old vintage stuff because I'm a retro guy.
There's bargains, goodies, but it's all for charity. It's a great event. Come on down.
In Orono, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And they had a beautiful day weather-wise to do it. Let's pause now for a first look at our forecast and see what else is coming.
Thank you very much. Your first weather tonight is brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience a quality automotive difference, reliable service, and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment at 922-2043. All right, with the sunshine today, low 80s back here in Bangor for today, 81 to be exact. Same for Bar Harbor, 79 in Rockland, but a lot of us still in those upper 70s and low 80s. A few in the mid 80s out there in the southwestern portion of the state for today, but a bit cooler further north as you had a cooler night last night. It's low to mid 70s for many of you in the northern tier of the state. So for tonight, a partly cloudy sky, mainly for your coastal regions into Bangor. Will increase more cloud cover into tomorrow, and you will have a chance for a few scattered showers. They look to stay light as we go into tomorrow evening around 6 to 7 p.m., but otherwise more showers on the way throughout Saturday nights into your Sunday. So overnight tonight, a few clouds are possible, otherwise staying dry with light winds and lows back in the mid-50s.
Thank you, Chase, and we will be right back with more local news.
Augusta politician Troy Jackson. While his family cashed in, you paid the price. As state Senate president, he voted repeatedly for higher taxes. Troy Jackson voted to allow cities and towns to drastically raise your property taxes, hurting our seniors and working families the most. And Jackson supports raising taxes on your Social Security, making Mainers pay more while his family cashed in. We can't afford Troy Jackson in the Senate. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Keep your boat safe, functional, and beautiful with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales rep can help you choose the perfect lift for your boat. Shoremaster's exclusive Whisper winch offers the industry's smoothest and quietest operation. Add speed and convenience with a Shoremaster lift motor. And Shoremaster's modular infinity design makes it easy to upgrade with accessories when you're ready. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
As Senate President, Troy Jackson counted votes, and his son counted cash. Jackson's lobbyist son raked in almost $200,000 from special interests, and Jackson flipped his positions. One polluter wanted to stop a bill cracking down on emissions, so they paid Jackson's son, and with Jackson in charge, the bill went up in smoke. Troy Jackson's family got paid. We got played. Coincidence or corruption? You decide. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
As the use of artificial intelligence increases, the Ellsworth School Department is the latest to implement it into the classroom. Ellsworth educators are involved in an initiative called STEM Workforce Ready, which is part of a research partnership with the Maine Math and Science Alliance. The goal of the program is to build capacity for students and teachers around computer science and in turn integrate AI into K-12 classrooms. Ellsworth School Department Technology Director Katie Hollenbach says teaching students to be more involved with AI will help them better understand what AI is and how it can benefit them moving forward.
AI is everywhere, so I think they need to know what students are going to be exposed to in the real world. In jobs, I think they need to prepare kids for careers and things that don't even exist yet.
Hollenbach hopes educators will reach out to assist in integrating technology. Well, this weekend, folks can look forward to the annual Butterfly Festival in Holden, where families get to walk the meadows, enjoy nature, and learn how important these pollinators truly are. Our Calvin White has more.
Fields Pond Audubon Center is holding its 8th annual Butterfly Festival this weekend. The festival will have arts and crafts, a parade where participants dress up as their favorite butterfly, and of course, the chance to catch bugs. The Maine Audubon hopes the festival allows youth to learn about the important role of pollinators and the dangers they face.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity to come out and enjoy some wonderful time outside with your family, doing some great activities, but then also some citizen science and getting involved in finding out ways that you can help your local wildlife.
The meadows here are filled with milkweed and other important plants for pollinators, like bees and butterflies, a vital part of the ecosystem.
While the Audubon has plenty of pollinators flying around, Melissa Gallagher says that the worldwide insect population is in decline.
You may say, wow, that's great, no bugs to bug me. But the truth of the matter is that bugs are a huge part of our food pyramid.
She says the declining population creates a cascade that affects other wildlife like birds, which affects larger animals, then eventually humans. The Audubon will be selling milkweed and butterfly weed at the festival for those interested in creating a more pollinator-friendly yard. The Butterfly Festival will be held from 10 to 2 on Saturday and is free for all families to attend. In Holden, Calvin White, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, we have your national headlines. Stay tuned.
Your call is
is important to us.
You've heard this before, too many times. Tired of being customer 45978? Yeah, we would be too. Speed means fast uploads, no lag, and zero buffering. But it also means calling you back, showing up on time, and treating you like a person, not a problem. So whether you're working, streaming, gaming, or all three, it is time to make the switch to a provider that actually tries. Go NetSpeed. Service isn't dead. It just moved local.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Hi. You okay? Yeah, just changing up my look. I see that. I gotta lay low. See that brand new Hyundai Tucson? I only paid.
Huh. Well, you look stunning.
Enjoy your new car. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get a Hyundai Tucson for 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Or lease for only $209 a month. Hurry in.
He put his life on the line for his country. Senator Susan Collins isn't forgetting him or any of our veterans. She's delivered millions in federal funding to improve housing for veterans across Maine and provide housing vouchers to make sure Maine veterans have a place to call home. She's also worked tirelessly to provide the quality mental health care our veterans deserve. Call and tell Senator Collins to keep fighting for our veterans.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
President Trump is ramping up economic pressure as Iran's president calls for an end to the ongoing conflict. Fox's Jonathan Hunt reports from Tel Aviv.
The U.S. Navy is tightening its blockade of Iranian ports as President Trump ramps up the economic pressure, and there are new signs it could be working slowly. In remarks apparently aimed at hardliners, Iran's president said Friday it might be time to end the war, claiming Iran has the upper hand, while also acknowledging the economic price being paid by Iranian civilians.
What concerns us is people's livelihoods and the economic situation, and we are doing everything we can to deal with it.
Those comments came a day after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced a new sanctions plan aimed at cutting off Iran's economy by isolating it on the world stage.
We're really talking about shutting down everybody who does business with them.
But it won't be easy or fast. Iran has shown a willingness to ignore the pain of its own people and also evade sanctions through smuggling. Some experts say whether the plan works will come to how long America is willing to stay in the fight. There's also a wild card. Beijing buys huge amounts of sanctioned Iranian oil, and if President Trump wants to crash Iran's economy, he'll have to also deal with China.
Without coming down really hard on China, I don't think the economic sanctions are going to achieve the coercive shock effect that we really seek to have.
The administration is expected to announce new details about President Trump's economic D-Day on Monday. In Tel Aviv, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
The U.S. military says the Asia-based USS George Washington aircraft carrier is now operating in the Middle East. This ship is relieving the long-deployed USS Abraham Lincoln following reports of mental health challenges and supply shortages aboard while it was supporting the Iran war. The Lincoln's deployment has included a record-setting uninterrupted time at sea of more than 250 days. It's not clear when the USS Abraham Lincoln will return to the U.S., but it typically takes just over a month to get back. Several Democratic lawmakers are pressing for accountability over the conditions aboard, which Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said were misrepresented. Well, Ukraine is striking deeper into Russia, but it's still taking hits from Russian forces as well. One attack this week left behind extensive damage, prompting Ukrainian officials to renew their plea for Patriot missiles. Fox's Jeff Paul has more from London.
Russian forces hitting Ukraine's capital with massive missile and drone strikes this week. Ukrainian officials say the attack lasted for hours, killing nearly 20 people and injuring dozens of others.
The explosions were terrifying, getting closer and closer, one after another. In the bathroom, the tiles fell. It was really scary.
President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine intercepted about 90% of cruise missiles used in Russia's latest attack, but ballistic missiles remain a challenge. He says Kyiv is prepared to buy Patriot interceptors to improve its air defenses and is asking the U.S. and other allies to release more.
The only realistic way to stop it is through force and by working together. No one should be left to face such an enemy alone.
And there's growing concern over Russian drones becoming a threat to NATO territories. Romania's president says a series of Russian aircraft breached the country's airspace in recent weeks, most recently a drone that Romanian forces destroyed on Thursday. Today, the Trump administration described what the alliance is doing to protect its borders.
We're shooting down drones. We are increasingly deploying on our eastern flank counter-drone systems. And so, I think we are well positioned to address these threats, but they're very dangerous.
Meanwhile, the UN says Kyiv was one of the hardest hit cities last month with more than 50 civilians killed. In London, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
The defense has rested in the trial of the Massachusetts woman who strangled her 3 children. Attorneys for Lindsay Clancy say she suffers from postpartum psychosis. Prosecutors say the murders were deliberate. Fox's Brian Yanis has more from Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Today, a leading expert in filicides, cases where parents kill their children, testified Lindsay Clancy heard a male voice commanding her to kill her 3 children and herself.
She was in a dream state and did not have control of her own body. It was almost like she was a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings.
Defense witness Dr. Philip Resnick says Clancy delusionally believed she was morally right and lacked the capacity to stop.
Ms. Clancy had the psychotic, distorted belief that her children would be better off in heaven rather than being motherless.
Resnick diagnosed Clancy with bipolar II with severe depression and concluded she was in the throes of postpartum psychosis on the day of the killings. But in a tense moment on cross-examination, prosecutors pointed out Clancy's medical records never showed homicidal thoughts.
What she told her doctors in December is that she had no homicidal ideation. She only reported suicidal ideation, correct?
Yes, and as noted, that's very common because people fear their children will be taken away.
So it's better to kill them than to have them taken away?
No, it's not better to kill them.
That was met with an immediate objection the judge sustained. The prosecution's rebuttal psychiatrist rejected the bipolar diagnosis and found no indication of psychosis.
She displayed normal thinking and the ability to think ahead and to navigate the world.
Prosecutors argue Clancy acted deliberately.
My opinion is that she retained the capacity that required for having criminal responsibility for these actions.
This may come down to whose experts the jury believes. To convict, the prosecution must prove Clancy knew what she was doing was wrong and could control her actions. In Plymouth, Massachusetts, Brian Yanis, Fox News.
And just ahead, we have more of your national headlines. Stay tuned.
Saturday night, preseason football is back. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the New England Patriots. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Saturday night on ABC 7.
Stay in the state of connection. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months or $750 customer cash in the purchase of a new 2026 Sportage.
A few weeks ago, I went down to the basement to see what was happening with the boilers and opened the door, and there was about 12 to 14 inches of water in our basement. I knew who to call right away, and that was Bouchard. They were here within a half hour. They work well with our insurance company. They're very, very efficient, and all I have to do is call them any time of day. They're going to take care of me. Our business is our life, and that's why I don't hesitate to recommend them to other people.
Way up north in Maine, down a road less traveled, lies Golden Road Crossing. We have everything you need to gear up for epic hikes, days spent fishing, and nights under the star-filled skies. Join us at Golden Road Yacht Club for cold drinks and Maine-grown comfort food. Gather round to make new friends, share stories, and create memories to last a lifetime. Come visit us at Golden Road Crossing, your hub on Maine's legendary Golden Road.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government that Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
The Kia K4 and K5. The next movement for innovation and the next movement for acceleration. Get 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2026 K5.
The Federal Trade Commission is cracking down on companies that are using personal shopper data to secretly hike prices. Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble has more.
The Federal Trade Commission is issuing a new proposal that would allow the agency to penalize companies if they're secretly varying prices based on how much they think an individual customer would pay for a product or service. This is a practice called personalized pricing, or some people call it surveillance pricing. Companies have been accused of using data they collect from consumers to set individual prices based on things like browsing history, location, and other information. For example, the FTC says it would raise concerns if a grocery chain charged a higher price for milk if it had data showing that several children lived in that customer's household. Or in another example, if a rideshare company charged a user more because it knows they don't have any of the competitors' apps on their phone. The FTC says companies have to clearly disclose personalized pricing, or they could face penalties like fines. We asked the National Retail Federation to respond. They didn't directly address the FTC's proposal, but that organization is defending discounts and rewards programs based on consumer data. They say this: NRF has and will continue to aggressively advocate to protect rewards programs that deliver timely savings and personalized offers that are relevant to each shopper's interests. Some states have already passed laws against personalized pricing, and now the feds are getting involved. In Chicago, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
President Trump is pausing tariffs on ground beef as he focuses on affordability, but that doesn't mean he's through with his tariff agenda yet. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
As the tariff war heats up, President Trump is focusing on affordability ahead of the midterm elections. On Friday, he announced a deal to suspend tariffs on 300,000 tons of beef imports for the next 90 days, saying it will be sold at 25% below current market prices. He wrote on social media, quote, "This deal will reduce prices for Americans while giving space for our great American beef herd to grow again." At the same time, the administration is doubling down on other tariffs that went into effect earlier this year.
With the Section 301 tariffs, I am confident we will be back to the same level, if not higher, of tariff income for last year.
But lowering prices won't be easy if the president can't cut a trade deal with Canada, and those talks just got more complicated.
We don't like Donald Trump's approach to trade or his way of treating Canada.
Manitoba's premier says he won't support any deal allowing American liquor back into his province because he claims President Trump can't be trusted.
Very wise people have said you can't get a good deal with a bad person. and I think that rule applies here.
Market access for American liquor is a major sticking point in the ongoing negotiations, though Canada's trade minister said Thursday the two sides are close to a deal.
The idea here is not to get into a tit for tat and ultimately increase tariff rates. The idea is actually more free but also fair trade.
If no deal is reached, 50% tariffs on Canadian goods are set to take effect at midnight on Saturday. In Washington, Mather Rivera, Fox News.
Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts allowed the White House to continue construction on the president's $400 million ballroom project. President Trump is claiming the construction is under budget and ahead of schedule. Fox's Caroline Elliott has more from New York.
President Trump's new White House ballroom gets the green light from the Supreme Court. Chief Justice John Roberts on Friday signed an order to temporarily continue above-ground construction on the $400 million project while the court considers an emergency appeal. He did not include when another ruling will come down.
And it's all paid for by patriots and patriotic companies, big companies. No taxpayer money for the ballroom at all.
The move is a win for the Trump administration, which argues demolishing the East Wing was necessary to build the 90,000 square foot ballroom and improve security.
This will be a necessary national security facility, providing essential command and control facilities, medical facilities, and essential protection.
Just this week, the president said the military came to him and suggested upgrading the underground construction plans.
And I said, look, go ahead, design what you want. And that goes down 5 stories. It goes down almost 65 feet.
What's in those 5?
Well, I'm not allowed to discuss that, but a lot of very detailed stuff.
Lower courts had ordered a stop to the project, stating it must have congressional approval first, which critics of the president praised.
It's not surprising that courts are weighing in and saying, no, you have to follow the rules. There's a way to do things and a way not to.
For now, ballroom construction is scheduled to continue 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
An update on the progress being made on NASA's next effort in its quest to return to the moon and eventually Mars. We talked with the commander of the Artemis 3 mission, who says it remains on track for next year. Fox's Jonathan Seri reports.
The Artemis 2 crew, comrade, hands you the baton. You got the controls.
2 months after NASA officially named him mission commander of Artemis 3, astronaut Randy Bresnik is actively training for launch next year. Wow. As with the previous mission in April, 4 astronauts will launch in an Orion spacecraft atop NASA's powerful Space Launch System rocket.
It seems daunting, but just like with any mission of complex mission, we just take it in chunks.
But instead of a lunar flyby, they'll stay in low Earth orbit, docking with 2 lunar lander prototypes from SpaceX and Blue Origin, each launching on a separate rocket.
We've been in training, learning our Orion vehicle, getting to learn it well, getting to learn each other, because you work with these people in the office, but it's not a continuous presence 24/7 type of operation like we're going to be doing in space.
After a catastrophic launch pad explosion in May, Blue Origin is modifying oxygen valves on the engines of New Glenn, the type of rocket that will carry its lunar lander into orbit for Artemis 3. NASA officials remain confident the mission is still on track for a 2027 launch. It will be the last crewed test flight before Artemis 4 attempts to land humans on the lunar South Pole as early as 2028. What do you hope the legacy of Artemis will be for children watching you today?
I certainly hope the legacy for Artemis is somewhat similar to the one of Apollo, that it excites them to want to be a part of it.
The White House has announced President Trump will visit Johnson Space Center in Houston next Friday. There he will present the Congressional Space Medal of Honor to the 4 members of Artemis 2 who flew past the far side of the moon back in April. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
From Hawaii to New York, severe storms have left behind a trail of destruction over the last 2 weeks. Thousands remain without power, and now some states are even bracing for more rain. Fox's Tonya J. Powers has more.
Across the country, millions of Americans are cleaning up from severe weather, including in Hawaii, where thousands remain without power days after Hurricane Lala. And now another tropical system is threatening to drop up to 15 inches of rain on the Big Island by next week. Officials are urging folks low on emergency supplies to restock up to 14 days worth of food and medicine.
If you got to get out of your house and stay in our shelters, please get out of your house, stay in our shelters.
Meanwhile, utility companies are still trying to restore power to some 44,000 people in the Midwest, more than a week after storms downed trees and flooded roads. More than a dozen disaster declarations remain in place, and Indiana's governor has deployed the state National Guard to assist emergency crews.
It'll be compared to things like Katrina, North Carolina, Mystic Camp near Kerrville, Texas.
That's what you see out on the street right now, is just people's treasures that they've gathered throughout the time, and it's just sitting there for trash now. So
back east, heavy rain and wind pummeled much of the region overnight. In Delaware, a tornado touched down in the state's capital of Dover, leaving behind debris around buildings and on roads.
Just wood. I felt like I was in a real movie of Twister. It was dramatic. It was so dramatic, it's just unbelievable.
And there won't be much of a break from the severe weather, with forecasters calling for more rain in the Northeast this weekend. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And just ahead, folks, we have your 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the Twos. We win for you.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed. No. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Troy Jackson likes to keep it in the family. When Jackson was Senate president, his son was one of the highest paid lobbyists in town. Special interests paid his son, and Jackson changed his positions. Just another dirty politician. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Make your outdoor living space dreams come true with a little help from Granville Stone and Hearth. Granville can help you go from this to this. Outdoor fireplaces, custom outdoor kitchens, gorgeous stone patios, and more. You bring the dreams, we'll supply the materials to make it all real. Create your stunning outdoor oasis with help from the experts at Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
One weekend, one city. This is history in the making.
Thank you very much. A beautiful day out there for your Friday today. We saw lots of sunshine, highs back in the low 80s here in the Bangor region. Same for Bar Harbor, upper 70s for you in Rockland, but we did share a lot of upper 70s and low 80s into the southwestern portion of the state. A cooler night for you further north was 40s out there, but that led to some slightly cooler afternoon highs in the low to mid 70s. Still a very nice day into the northern tier of the state. So again, we'll do this over like we did last night. We'll have cooler temperatures further north, low to mid 40s. We'll be more likely to be in those low to mid 50s here in Bangor for tonight, with the warmest temperatures being right along your coastline with the help of some cloud cover. But for tomorrow, we are looking to increase back into the upper 70s before all that cloud cover moves in. So the warmest temperatures will reach right around noon, and the rest of the day, those temperatures will slowly creep downwards as we get some cloud cover and a chance to cool off with some showers. But Sunday will be a bit cooler as well. Mid 70s, we can see some breaks in the clouds, but otherwise on and off showers and thunderstorms throughout your Sunday. That continues into Monday as well. We'll get more chances for sunshine, so low 80s, but that does mean the chance for some stronger storms later on throughout the day. So we'll keep an eye on that. Tuesday and the Wednesday back near average, low 80s for your Thursday, and a big dip again back into the mid 70s by your Friday. So wind-wise out there, we're going to see a northerly wind turn into an easterly wind tomorrow. We're going to have those wind gusts near 5 to 15 miles per hour. Some areas can see gusts near 20. Otherwise, not too bad into the afternoon. More of that wind will kind of pick up again in the evening. It will lighten up throughout the night. But then Sunday afternoon, we're looking at winds again, gusting near 25 miles per hour with that low pressure system in the area. So here's a look at what we're seeing throughout the next few days. You can see tonight we'll have some increasing cloud cover from the south leading into tomorrow afternoon. As we get later into the day, that's going to be our better chance for showers. They look to arrive around 6 to 7 p.m., but they'll pick up into the early overnight hours. Here's 10 o'clock. It's going to be more likely the eastern portion of the state that sees the heavier threat for showers. More of the western side will see some sprinkles maybe, but not as much rain as the eastern side of the state is going to get pummeled with throughout Saturday evening, Saturday nights, into much of your Sunday as well. So again, on and off showers throughout much of the state for your Sunday. There can be some thunderstorms had if we do get a little bit of sunshine to add some instability, but there will be some dry hours for Sunday, but more again, the eastern side of the state will take the bigger hits with rainfall, and that does show this here. Some of you, especially near the Machias area, can see over an inch of rainfall, possible near Holton as well, but again, it's going to be more southeastern Maine that sees a lot of this rain. You can still get some of it here in Bangor. We're looking close to be near a half inch or so. I do think we'll get a little bit more than these models show. More of those models are bringing in some more rain that you can see from Augusta into Bangor. So even though this shows low amounts, I'd expect right around a half inch or so throughout this weekend into the beginning of the work week. So for tonight, lows in the mid 50s. We're staying dry. Some areas of dense fog with partly cloudy skies, but for tomorrow, we'll see the clouds increase slowly throughout the day, and it can bring a few scattered showers late, but otherwise, highs will reach the upper 70s before those clouds move in. So taking a look at your extended forecast, mid 70s for your Sunday. We do have a good chance for showers and thunderstorms. There will be some dry hours as well. Same for your Monday, but this could be a stronger chance for showers and thunderstorms with highs back in the low 80s, some added instability and energy. Some of those storms can be a bit strong, but Tuesday and the Wednesday, things are looking better, upper 70s with partly cloudy skies.
Thank you, Chase. And folks, don't go anywhere. We have sports for you next.
Here are the facts about Susan Collins and Medicaid. Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance Donald Trump's Medicaid cuts.
Susan Collins was the deciding vote to advance the bill.
Now, thousands more Mainers are expected to lose their Medicaid coverage. Hospitals and clinics are shutting down, all to give massive tax breaks for billionaires. Look up the facts yourself and tell Susan Collins to stop voting for Trump's healthcare cuts.
Honey, where's the countertop?
I sent it out to the granite shop this morning to be replaced.
Wow.
The quickest turnaround in the business, the Granite Shop in Sedgwick.
We're ready for baseball, and off we go.
Major League Baseball, all season long on Fox.
A woodworker from Winterport has never been puzzled over what he was born to do.
Got hooked on it. I just love making them. It's all drawn by hand and cut by hand on my scroll saw.
We'll introduce you to Sonny Sawyer and his works of art. Monday on Fox 22 News at 10.
This is the floor, Season of Champions.
I will thumb wrestle a baby to win.
Welcome back in, folks. This week we have covered some high school soccer teams ramping up for the fall season, but the Husson men's soccer team is also back out there preparing to make a run at the NAC title. The 2026 soccer season starts for the Husson Eagles on September 1st when they host the Southern Maine Huskies at home at 6:30 p.m. But there's still some time between now and then, and the Eagles have been focusing first and foremost on building the chemistry they will need entering the regular season.
All these guys, you know, if we can get them to really connect well and have that strong chemistry, on and off the field, it's going to correlate onto the field in games. You know, when we have those hard games like College or, you know, those big NESCAC schools, staying together is the most important part.
The Eagles fell short in the North Atlantic Conference semifinal game last year, losing to SUNY Delhi 2-1, who would go on to win the conference championship. This season, the Eagles are ready to make a run at the title themselves and believe that setting those high expectations early will develop a winning mindset early on.
People that want to achieve goals have high expectations, and we set ourselves pretty strong ones. I think if the team stick to them and keep working as hard as they've been working, we just have success in front of us, right? Nothing is granted though, so we cannot give an inch to anybody. We're just going to keep fighting and working hard.
Former Thornton Academy standout pitcher Cody Bowker made his Double-A debut against the Portland Sea Dogs last night. Bowker was named the Maine Gatorade Player of the Year in 2022. Julius Simone caught up with his parents and one of the former coaches he had yesterday before the game.
Bowker, the standout pitcher at Thornton Academy, led the team to the program's first Class A state championship in 2022 and was named the Maine Gatorade Player of the Year that same year. Now, Bowker went on to play collegiate ball for Vanderbilt in Nashville until he was selected in the third round of the 2025 MLB draft by the Philadelphia Phillies. His parents tell us Cody found out last Sunday he'd be pitching against the Sea Dogs tonight. They say he has lots of friends and family here to watch him take the mound. His former coach tells us Cody is a hard worker, and he always knew he was a special player.
Top-notch human being. All the guys that we had in Sanford loved him, loved to call him his teammate. I loved to call him one of my players. And just an incredible work ethic. He's worked for everything he's gotten.
Bowker excelled against the Sea Dogs lineup as they got an 11-1 victory where Bowker only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run in 6 Ks and 5 innings pitched. The Maine native even got to face Red Sox slugger Roman Anthony, who ended up going 0 for 2 against Bowker. Here's what Roman had to say after the game.
Threw it really well. Thought he hit spots. Thought he, he had quite the crowd there and didn't speed him up too much. So, yeah, good little funky arm for sure. And he kind of kept us, all over the place.
Heading to Boston now, where an old friend is paying the Red Sox a visit for the first time since his trade in June of 2025. Rafael Devers returns to Fenway Park this weekend for the first time as a member of the San Francisco Giants, nearly 14 months after the Red Sox stunned baseball by trading away their longtime star. The trade came after months of tension. Devers had been moved from third base to designated hitter following Boston's signing of Alex Bregman, and the relationship deteriorated further when the Red Sox asked Devers to consider playing first base after Tristan Casas was injured. Devers declined, and Boston ultimately decided to move on from its franchise cornerstone. Now Devers comes back to the ballpark where he spent 9 seasons, won a World Series, and became one of Boston's biggest stars. Here's Devers on his return to Fenway and his message to the fans.
A lot of memories came back. This is my first organization that I've been to, and I only been in San Francisco, so obviously being here first, there are so many memories, good ones and bad ones. Simply want to say thank you very much for all the support they gave me through my years here, and they will be always special in my heart.
All right, folks, before I leave you and we send you guys to break, the Patriots will be playing their preseason game versus the Eagles on ABC this Saturday at 7 p.m., so make sure to tune in there for the second week of preseason action. For right now, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
You don't get to buy the government that you want.
But let's look at what Troy Jackson did, because Troy Jackson likes to keep it in the family. When Jackson was state Senate president, his son was one of the highest paid lobbyists in town. Special interests paid his son, and Jackson changed his positions. Was it a coincidence, or was something corrupt? Troy Jackson is just another dirty politician. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos?
because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Call the 2. We win for you.
It's Toyota's national sales event with so much summer left to see. From the perfect seats in a RAV4, to reimagining spaces in a Corolla Cross, to rooms with a view in a Tundra. Don't you love when summer just clicks?
You could get an affordable $279 a month lease on a stylish Corolla Cross SUV with a $14,764 total contract cost. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota keeps your summer going.
Toyota, let's go places.
He put his life on the line for his country. Senator Susan Collins isn't forgetting him or any of our veterans. She's delivered millions in federal funding to improve housing for veterans across Maine and provide housing vouchers to make sure Maine veterans have a place to call home. She's also worked tirelessly to provide the quality mental health care our veterans deserve. Call and tell Senator Collins to keep fighting for our veterans.
When Blazing Trails located in Lincoln want to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Blazing Trails is Lincoln's #1 trusted dispensary, providing outstanding product and customer service to Eastern and Central Maine.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
Sam Darnold and the Seahawks tune up for a season to defend their crown against the Titans. Preseason football, Sunday at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Today, the Bangor Elks Lodge gave away $4,000 in food to the Newburgh Regional Community Food Pantry. The local chapters raise money for the Elks National Foundation for Educational Scholarships, and in turn, the National Foundation provides grants for the Bangor Elks. With the grants, the Bangor Elks get to help different community groups.
It's nice to help people, you know, when we get a chance, and like I said, because of our members, we have chances all year long. So, and that's what we do, Elks Care, Elks Share.
It's great because it's product that we might not otherwise be able to afford to get. It's very expensive to feed all the families that we feed.
Finally tonight, a popular Rhode Island refreshment business has made its way to Maine to showcase its fresh and unique assortment of frozen treats. Our Sam Miller has more.
Since 1948, Dell's Lemonade has been a Rhode Island staple, and back in June they arrived in Maine to introduce their unique take on lemonade to a new set of customers. The popular establishment strays away from the traditional lemonade recipe. They use real fruit components and natural flavorings, giving their products an authentic tart as opposed to artificial flavors.
We got lemonade, we got watermelon, we got one of our newer flavors, strawberry lemonade, we got tangerine orange and blood orange, and blueberry as well.
Dell's makes its rounds in eastern Maine throughout the week and frequently sets up shop in Bangor, Corinth, and Newport. Dell's employee Aidan Philbrook described what separates their establishment from other businesses in the area.
It's kind of a breath of fresh air. You know, it's something new. It's not exactly like Italian ice. People actually really like the fact that it holds its flavor and it's a lot softer and it's really refreshing.
What started as a small family-owned operation has now turned into a worldwide franchise. Philbrook says he wants every cup served to be meaningful.
I want it to be kind of like a remembrance of like family and how good, you know, life can be.
In Bangor, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks delicious. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at Fox 22 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC.
Someone with the joy and the relief in finding Holly. How often do you think of your parents and what happened to them, not knowing?
Every day. Every day now. Not a day that goes by I don't think of them and what happened.
Because now you believe you know them.
I do. I've gotten to know them. And I miss them.
So tell me about how my parents got married.
Okay, I came home from work that day and Junior
Must be difficult to think all the years you lived without your grandma Donna, and she was there all along.
But she was praying me through it. I had no idea. Prayer works. God does answer. You might have to wait 40 years.
And you did.
Yes, and it was definitely worth the wait.
And you just heard Holly tell me there that the wait was worth it, that she got to reunite with Grandma Donna, who has since passed away at the age of 82. But Holly, so grateful that they had that time together before having to say goodbye.
And as you know, she referred to her as her prayer warrior. Well, Holly has even written a book about her own incredible story called Finding Baby Holly. That's our program for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Deborah Roberts.
And I'm David Muir from all of us here at 2020 and ABC News. Good night.
Scan the QR code to subscribe to listen to 2020 True Crime Plus.
Some say the pen is mightier than the sword, but have they considered this? 6 all-time greats.
I've got a chance to win it all.
1 incredible tournament.
There's no crying in Jeopardy.
2-week primetime event begins Tuesday, 8.
This is ABC 7 News at 11.
Word is spreading fast in